Ahoy from Prague, I'm Paul Colto. I've been teaching English here for 5 years and today I'm going to show you a typical day as an English teacher in Prague. First of all, I'm going to show you everything that I take in my bag. So first thing I've got is my tablet, which has got all my books and all my documents and TED Talks, a power bank with a little lead, of course. Next thing I've got is some vocabulary sheets. There's a video on how I use vocabulary sheets in my lessons as a really simple and great conversation tool. Next up is my attendance sheets. Then I've got these, which are some emergency grammar exercises. I've got 3 pens. The blue pen is the lucky pen. So if a student does a homework exercise perfectly without many mistakes, they get a little smiley face with the lucky pen. And I've got 2 normal black pens because at least once or twice a week a student is going to forget their pen. I've got a bottle of water. I've also got a packed lunch, which I do because it saves me a lot of money. Also got some headphones, essential bit of kit if you want to listen to music and podcasts as you're traveling around in between lessons. And it's supposed to be a beautiful May day today here in Prague, so I've got sunglasses and a hat to protect my stupid bald head. I'm teaching 7 hours today, which isn't something I normally do. I try to restrict myself only to like 4.5 hours a day. I've now got to catch a tram all the way to the other side of the city. It'll take me about 30 minutes, but I've got my headphones and like I said, some music and podcasts to listen to on the way, and we're going to cross the bridge and hopefully see Prague Castle. So now I'm in the Smíchov district of Prague, which is where the Staropramen brewery is, and you can tell they're brewing today because I can smell it in the air. Yeasty. I'm on my way to a graphic design studio, one of the best in the city, and I'm going to teach for 2 hours there, 2 60-minute individual one-to-one lessons, and I've just walked up a hill and I'm a little bit out of breath. Both the students mainly want to practice like conversation, so we do about 75% conversation and about 25% of grammar and checking their homework. This is a beautiful park, typical of the ones you often walk through. I don't know who that is. So it's 10 o'clock, just finished my first 2 hours of teaching. First student forgot all his study materials, so I had to kind of think on my feet a bit and basically, do a lot of conversation practice. But I got him to tell me all about a Colin Farrell film that he watched. And second student, we just mainly studied present perfect for 60 minutes. Now, on my way to Wenceslas Square to teach 2 hours. 2 hours at a web design studio. So from a graphic design studio to a web design studio. So just finished my 2 hours at the web design company. 2 nice classes. First one just talking about Breaking Bad, and the second one talking about how her brother got married at the weekend. So I got her to talk me through the whole ceremony. Now I've got 1 hour break till my next lesson. I'm going for lunch in a really nice little park right off Wenceslas Square in the centre of Prague. So I just had a scrumptious luncheon and stumbled upon that beautiful farmer's market. I'm now in sexy, trendy Vinohrady, away from the tourists. I'm on my way to a cafe to teach a 2-hour lesson. I don't normally teach one student for 2 hours, but this guy, we got a lot in common. He writes songs, he's really into art and culture, so if I have a student that I can speak to, quite comfortably for a long time, then I don't mind doing a slightly longer lesson. If you're enjoying this rather splendid romp, following me around for the day, please click like, share this video with everyone you know, and subscribe. And check out all my other videos on ESL teaching and on international relocation. I just finished my 2-hour lesson with my actor, singer, student. We talked a lot about his current projects, what he's got going on. A nice chat, and now I'm off to my final lesson of the day, which is in a cafe with a girl who works in an office, but she's a very passionate clothes designer. So we talk a lot about that. She's really into art and culture. So 1 more hour to go. I'm sorry I can't show you any actual footage of the lessons, but it might be a bit weird if I just thrust my camera in my students' faces. It's just not a good idea. But I promise you they're happening. And so far today, they've all been actually really nice. A 7-hour day is a long day. I've done 6, 1 more to go. So let's keep going. If you've got any questions at all about what it's like to teach in Prague, what it's like to live in Prague as an expat, then just add them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer all of them. And I do mean all of them. So there we have it, the end of a 7-hour teaching day. Like I say, normally I only do about 4 or 5 because I'm freelance, but if you come to Prague and you start teaching English for language school, you're going to be doing about 6.5, 7 hours a day probably, for the first year or 2 at least. But it's perfectly manageable. You've got nice students and you prepare well. It's fine. I'll do another video about some of the good things and bad things about teaching English in Prague at a later date, but I really hope you found this video useful and just a little insight into what it's like to teach English in Prague. So I'm off to have a nice, relaxing, chilled evening. Toot toot! And look who's here to greet me when I finally get home.